So for everybody on our call today, once again, hello, good morning. So happy that you guys could join us today on just finding out a little bit more about how shipping insurance can help you. So what you see here on my screen now is the 4 people who will be really communicating to you guys today, just the importance of why this really matters and what it can do to help you grow. So I'm gonna go around the bullhorn here, and we're gonna do just a quick introduction on each person that you see. And so they're gonna share with you guys what they're responsible for today. And initially, they're also going to let you know why that's relevant for you as this audience here today. So Amanda, I'd love to go ahead and start off with you.
Hello, everyone. Good morning and good afternoon. My name is Amanda Heim, and I am a digital channel marketing manager at UPS Capital. And I support our domestic sales team to ensure that our digital insurance solutions are providing value to our customers.
Beautiful, Amanda. I appreciate you sharing that. All right, next up, let's hear from you, Alicia.
Good morning, everyone. Good afternoon. My name is Alicia Wheeler. Like Amanda, I am also a digital channel marketing manager here at UPS Capital. Really where I focus is driving more awareness amongst our small businesses on how they can access a lot of our affordable and easy to integrate digital solutions. I also work to try to advocate for enhancements to those digital solutions and our self-service solutions that we offer businesses to really help optimize that customer experience for all of our customers.
Incredible. Thank you for that, Alicia. All right, next up, Nick, I'd love to hear from you.
Hey, good morning. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Nick Keith. I act as our sales manager on the East Coast here at UPS Capital. Very fortunate that, I get to get out on the road, go visit with our customers, take tours of their facilities, and really try to understand the supply chain and some of the challenges and the friction that they see within their operation. And then really bring a lot of that back and work with our internal partners, such as our underwriters, our marketing resources, and our solutions counterparts, to then package up and bring back to our customers a working solution that helps create increased efficiencies and growth ultimately for our customers. So really happy to be here with everyone.
Love that, Nick. Thank you for sharing that with us. All right, Katina, let's hear from you.
Hey, good morning, good afternoon, everyone. My name is Katina Davis. I am a director of operations responsible for the claims team here at UPS Capital. Really in my role is responsible for providing the best-in-class claims experience for our customers and making sure that they get what they want, and that's getting their claims processed quickly and efficiently and accurately.
Love that. So much power packed into that. So, and one more person, everybody, that I'd love to introduce you to. Her photo is not here on the slide, but she is showing camera today. Someone very incredible on this project. Ashley, would you please like to share a little bit?
Hey, yeah, happy to be here. Thanks for coming. I'm just a cheer mom running the ops in the background today. So I'll be answering your questions in the chat and helping Sarah and the rest of the team run the show.
Rock. Thank you for that. All right, so I just want to show everybody here what we're going to be covering today. And we're going to start with a brief overview of UPS Capital. And then we're going to go into shipment insurance specifically, and why it matters. And then followed by that, we're going to talk about how it all works together. And we will wrap our time up today by going through a Q&A session that's really going to help solidify a lot of those questions that you have. Ashley did mention the chat. So if you guys have questions throughout this, please feel free to look into the chat. I will be addressing it. And what we'll do is this session is being recorded. And so there will be a chance for us to provide this recording to you guys. Additionally, any questions that don't get answered in that chat, I'll take it out as a virtual parking lot, and we'll make sure that when we send the recording out to see how many of those questions we can still provide you electronically and get those answers to you. So we will wrap our time up today with a raffle, just so that we all have some good fun with this, knowing that our time is well spent together. And so as a heads up, as we go through each of these sections, I want to let you guys know we're going to be sprinkling some poll questions into the audience here. And so in that, you'll get a chance to really participate and understand a little bit more about the content here, but to carry on rich conversation as well. So again, please feel free to pop your questions into the chat. We will be throwing out poll questions. We'll send out the recording of this afterwards. And if you guys have any questions after today's session, please feel free to reach out to anybody here that you see on the call. So I'm going to go ahead and pass this first off to Alicia, who will present to you a quick snapshot overview of UPS Capital.
Thanks so much, Sarah. So as we get things kicked off today, one of the things that you all may be wondering is, who is UPS Capital? Why are we different than other shipping insurance providers that you may have heard of, or other protection offerings that are available in the marketplace? So really just to get us started, I want to highlight a few key items you'll kind of hear us consistently talk about throughout today's webinar. The biggest piece for us is really solving one of the business challenges that many businesses that ship anything is probably familiar with, which is shipping claims. And really, we're focused on how do we design our solutions to really remove a lot of that friction in that process and remove around that pain around filing claims should a shipping mishap happen. So one of the things that we've been able to do with some of our solutions is really simplify and consolidate that claims filing process by allowing a lot of our customers to file directly through UPS Capital all online. So no longer needing to kind of keep track of different claims filing timelines for different carriers. We're really kind of simplifying and streamlining that process and offering more of those extended claims filing time periods for our customers. Another area you kind of hear us talk a little bit more about is that full invoice value coverage, with coverage up to 100% of the value of the goods, really enabling customers to ensure that full amount of whatever they're shipping, really protecting their margin versus maybe standard what you might be used to with just that replacement cost coverage should a loss or damage occur. Really, our policies also offer some unique coverages. One of the things that we'll probably talk about through today's webinar is porch piracy. That's a newer risk for a lot of the customers that we're working with, especially for the businesses that are working with more of that direct consumer or that B2C type shipment. Really, one of the things that we try to beef up too is that fast claims resolution time frame. So we'll talk a little bit more about some of the research, some of the stats that might shock or surprise you around what are some of those standard claims turnaround times when you're dealing with some of those other protection offerings in the market, particularly too with the carriers. Proof of loss, that's certainly something that we're a little bit more able to help our customers with, because typically if you've ever experienced having to prove a carrier at fault for a loss or damage, that can be certainly a painful process. So that's certainly something where we can kind of take a little bit of that pain out by really focusing on, did a loss or damage occur for a shipment in transit versus who's really at fault for that loss or damage. And then just kind of the last thing I do want to highlight about UPS Capital, you'll kind of see some of the stats on the snapshot, but we've processed a significant number of claims. We protect a significant number of businesses, particularly over the last 20 years where we've been able to offer some of our shipping insurance solutions. So there's a lot of insight on best practices that we can kind of provide back from our lens on what do we see maybe works best. We've got a couple of SMEs here on today's call, so I'm sure that they can add, from their perspective, what do they see on the claim side? What do they see with some of our customers on, just kind of advising and providing some of those tips on maybe how to prevent a damage. That's something certainly we can offer that unique lens on as well, just from the number of businesses that we support and also our connection to a lot of the customers that we work with today. So before we dive in any further, I do actually want to pass it back to Sarah and have her kind of take us through our first two polls of today's webinar.
Awesome. Alicia, thank you for that. And I do see these questions here in the chat, so be sure to check those out as we pull these up. So that first question here, you guys should already see a quick little pop-out window on your screen with the first poll question here. And so the question for everybody we'd love for you to answer is, has your business experienced a shipment loss that resulted in a claim in the past year? Let us know yes or no there. Awesome. And once you let us know and you submit, you can actually see the percentages floating in here. So I love it. 85% of you already have answered yes. Awesome. Awesome. We're going to give you guys just another second here to answer. I know there's 107 of us on this call right now, so I do want to give you guys that opportunity. I appreciate that. Awesome. The numbers are coming in. So still 88% of you right now, as of right now, are saying yes. You guys have had to file a claim in the past year because your business experienced that kind of shipping loss. Certainly, certainly. Awesome. Awesome. We appreciate your participation here. So good. Be ready for more of those poll questions. When I say be ready, let's go ahead and try another one out right now. Appreciate your responses there. So the second question we're going to ask you, and you should see that pop-up box right there in your window, is how did that claim impact your business? I'll give you a few seconds to go ahead and read through those and let us know. How did that claim impact your business? Okay, percentages are floating in here. Keep them coming, keep them coming. I love it. All right, so we're at a little bit of a neck and neck here. Looking at 34% of you letting us know that incurred a financial loss due to having sent a second unit. Okay, we're neck and neck with that again, that second option there. Spent extra time with the customer to resolve the issue and make them whole. Incredible. So looking at some of these lower percentages here, a little interesting. So received a negative review and lost the sale and or the customer. That's very tough. All of these options are really tough. And I can see some of you have already answered that 2 or more of the above really have applied to you. So I know this is a huge impact on the business, and it's incredible for the conversations that we're about to really have with you guys today, because hopefully we'll provide a little bit of that alleviated support and see what we can do for you. So looking at the response options here, it looks good. It's a little bit of that dispersed result view, but majority of you, it looks like you guys have spent that extra time with the customer to resolve the issue and make them whole. So appreciate those answers there. Awesome. So now I do want to pass it back to Alicia, who will go ahead and let you guys know about why shipping is important, why shipping insurance is important. Alicia?
Thanks, Sarah. So really, a lot of businesses do not realize the connection between that shipping experience and that post-purchase experience, and really that overall impact that the experience can have on customer loyalty. So let's dive a little bit more into some research and some insight about the shipping experience that may shock or surprise you, or maybe you can relate to as well. Based on some of those poll answers, I think we've got a few folks in the audience that may be able to relate to some of the things that we're going to discuss. So over the last 2 years, UPS Capital has been able to conduct research to really better understand some of the trends that we're seeing from our small businesses, but as well as consumers. What are they experiencing when it comes to that overall shipping experience? What other businesses have shared through us through these research studies that we've been able to complete is really that shipping related experiences and events can really make or break that customer loyalty. And about 2/3 of SMBs reported that shipping experiences like port piracy, loss, damage negatively impacted their customer reviews in the past year. What consumers shared with us on the flip side really kind of matches up to what we've seen. Some of the pain expressed by some of the businesses that we've surveyed was more around that 1/3 stated that they would never shop again with an SMB if they had a negative experience. 38% said that they would actually fault the business for the shipping issue, which usually you could think that they would barely be looking at the carrier, but they're really looking for you as a business to be able to provide that resolution. So almost half said they would never buy again from business if there's not an acceptable resolution when it comes to that lost or damaged item. And then again, 66% of consumers stated that shipping related experiences were the #1 reason why they would leave a negative review. So I might open it up just to some of our panelists here, again, from their experience, if they've seen something similar with some of the SMBs that they're working with.
Yeah, Alicia, I can kind of jump in here. So this is something that we see a ton out in the market, right? Obviously with COVID going through 2020, 2021, a lot of these brick and mortar, institutions are bringing customers into an actual place of business to make a sale. That has shifted exponentially to now everything is being delivered to a consumer's home address, to a Dropbox, to a UPS store, so on and so forth. And we've really tried to pivot to really focus on that post-purchase experience. So when something bad does occur, how can we make sure that that consumer has the best experience and situation? And we try to enable our merchants to have a resolution ready to go to make sure that that consumer has a good experience, does not leave negative reviews, and ultimately that will impact the cash flow for the company that we would write a policy for. So this is very real and something that we see each and every day in our sales engagements with customers.
Thanks for that, Nick. So I think we'll take it back to Sarah. Sarah, I think we have another poll for the audience.
I think it froze there on me for just a second. Thank you for that pass back, Alicia. Yes, let's go ahead and jump into another poll question here for everybody. So you guys should see the pop-up question. There it is for me. Awesome. Hope you guys got it. So the question here now is, what was the claims process like when you've had to file with other providers? So let us know. Take a minute to read through those options. What was the claims process like when you've had to file with other providers? Look at the chat right now, y'all. It's blowing up. The biggest percentage here. It's coming in so fast. Amaze. I could never escape. It's daunting, right? It feels very trapped. Incredible. Look at those percentage rates. Still a little complicated, but manageable. Okay, for those of you who have replied with that. 2% say piece of cake. Exactly why we're here today, folks. Percentages are growing. I love the responses here. Thank you, everybody, for just letting us know. These are the real pain points here. So we appreciate you guys really being honest with us and just giving us a little bit of your experience here. So awesome. Again, thank you for all for answering. We're going to go ahead and throw in one more poll question for you guys. You guys should see the next question here. It'll pop up into the screen for you guys. Just want to make sure before I even read through it. There it is for me as well. Perfect, perfect. So what was the worst part of the claims experience? Man, you guys are already answering these even quicker than I can read through all the options for myself. So extensive paperwork, definitely. Multiple follow-ups to get the claim approved. Looking at that, coming in third, having to prove the carrier is at fault. Tough. Oh man, length of process is growing though. Wow. Check this out. Claims not paid in full. Still one of the worst parts, but not many of you have experienced that. Okay. Majority of you are still sticking with the multiple follow-ups to get the claims approved. I can see that for sure. Absolutely. You know, and it's telling because a lot of these answer options here are still what all of you guys are finding in common, which are these are the generalized highlighted pain points that the UPS Capital team is going to be here to really expand on and share with you. So I love the answers. Thank you everybody for answering those poll questions. We see here that those multiple follow-ups to get the claim approved is really the worst part of it for sure, but not to neglect the other responses. So thank you again. Alicia, I'd love to go ahead and pass it back over to you now.
Thanks, Sarah. So not unlike some of the answers that we saw in the poll, so thank you all for taking those polls. So here's just some of the top frustration drivers that other businesses experience when it comes to shipping and claims. And clearly many of you can relate to kind of this first one is the lengthy claims process. Many businesses reported that they spend an average of 72 minutes on a single claim. So that's truly amazing. You know, you're spending a lot of time on that particular piece. You know, it's extremely painful, especially when you've probably got a lot of other things that are on your plate. Another aspect too that SMB shared with us is really just that pain of having to prove that the carrier is at fault. So, you know, just those multiple follow-ups, trying to see where we're at in the process, looking to get that claim approved, just the general extensive paperwork that's required. And then ultimately that claim not being paid in full, with very few claims being paid in general. So with more than 2/3 of SMBs, what they've shared with us, that they end up sending replacements to customers when they don't even have coverage in place, just to reduce that negative customer review. And often they're losing money in that process. So without the right protection in place, you know, there's still a risk that you're absorbing and adding on and really kind of eating away at your margins when it comes to that painful claims process. So I do want to just pause here. There's a lot of information on this particular slide, But just for some of our experts on today's webinar, any other context that you guys want to add from a claims perspective on what you're seeing with businesses? Oh,
I see
Katina, I think
Katina
you're on mute.
talking, yeah.
Uh-oh, still muted.
I'll jump in while she's, okay, I think you got it now, Katina, go ahead.
All right, great. Can you guys hear me?
Yep.
Yep.
Okay, yeah, so on the claims piece, that 72 minutes is definitely not typical. We see claims process within a few minutes, customers being able to file their claims. And then in terms of the time it takes to process those claims, we see that happening in less than a week, 3 to 5 days typically. So these numbers are certainly not reflective of what UPS Capital can offer from a claims perspective.
Yeah, I think that's great context, right? Like taking maybe something that you're used to experiencing where, it takes you over an hour and then kind of bringing that down to less than 5 minutes, that there's a lot that I think you could probably get done in the day with just that kind of time savings.
Yeah, the only other thing I want to quickly add is if you kind of look at a lot of these statistics here and basically everything that you see in bold on the screen, whenever we engage with customers, it kind of gets to a point where they say, what's the point, right? Why would I even try to file that claim with the carrier or with this other provider? Because I know what I have to go through, and it typically results in me not getting made whole or getting that cash flow back into my business so I can take care of my consumer. So a lot of these companies that we engage with, they've found a way to almost budget for coming out of pocket when these supply chain disruptions occur. And we really try to help them find a better risk mitigation strategy to improve the cash flow as opposed to just storing reserves for when these challenges occur with their consumers.
Really great points. Thank you, both Katina and Nick. And if we could move to the next slide, we'll keep going. Okay, so I do want to introduce everyone to Laura. Laura is our Chief of Everything Officer. She is a small business superwoman, really focused on planning and growing her business. So I'd want to share a little bit more about, what do we typically see with the small businesses that we're working with? And Laura is kind of our persona of a lot of the customers that we're working with. So when a loss or damage occurs, Laura is very frustrated because really she's pulled away from her business. And she has to manage claims, and it's particularly painful for her because of just, again, like what we talked about of how long it takes to be paid, and then ultimately less than 50% of those claims being paid. So I think to Nick's point, you kind of get to that point of what is the point? Is this something that I can really balance? And then on top of that, Laura's really looking on how do I avoid losing the customer that I'm working with today? Really because she's not able to proactively respond because she doesn't necessarily know what's going to happen with that claim. And then let's talk a little bit more about some of the things that Laura has to balance and question when it comes to that shipping mishap. So with that carrier claims process, when she doesn't have proper protection in place, it's really difficult for Laura to balance her process and keeping up with, industry leaders. What is that standard that they've set when it comes to that shipping experience? So for Laura, it's really balancing, does she even have the inventory to replace the order? Can she afford to replace that order? If you have to reship, how much is it going to cost to reship? How long is it going to take to get there? Is that customer going to be satisfied with that reship time frame? And then ultimately, is this customer even worth it? Do I want to retain this customer's business? Meanwhile, kind of going through that decision process, she might be working with a carrier to process that claim. Then that industry leader isn't necessarily thinking about those questions. On autopilot, they just reship it out. They can kind of move on and retain that 5-star stellar review status. So really, it's for us to be able to help businesses with the solutions that we'll talk about next on how you can kind of get access to that 5-star solution. So that way you have that protection in place to be able to compete with industry leaders. So before we jump into a little bit more about the solutions, we're going to pass back to Sarah for another poll.
Alicia, that was awesome. Thank you for that. So everybody, these poll questions should be popping up right now. The question here is, do you think an improved experience, an improved claims experience, could positively impact your customer experience? So let us know here in the polls. Love it. The numbers are coming in. Strongly agree at 85, 86% of you, 91% of you already. Majority of you guys already know. Definitely, I hear that. Do you think an improved claims experience could positively impact your customer experience? Awesome. 11% of you agree. Okay. Those are the few 11. My crew, we got to make sure we capture on today's call. So I love it. 85% of you right there telling us you strongly agree. Perfect. Thank you for that. So let's keep it moving then. And based on some of those pain points that Alicia just went over, now we're going to actually have Amanda talk to you guys about some of those potential solutions and really what the remedies look like that really an SMB is experiencing. So Amanda, go ahead and let us know what UPS Capital can do for everybody.
Thank you so much, Sarah. So it seems like a large majority of us agree that improving that claims experience for both our internal teams and customers could have that positive impact on the overall customer experience. And what I really want to talk to you guys about today is how the digital insurance offerings through UPS Capital gives you the power to do just that. Our risk mitigation experts work with you to customize an insurance policy that can seamlessly integrate into your existing business processes with affordable options that provide coverage across all carriers and modes. So when that shipping mishap does occur and you experience that loss or damage, you gain access to that 24/7 online claims management portal where you can file those claims in less than 5 minutes. And really with the ability to file those claims regardless of carrier or mode in one streamlined location, you've already expedited a typically lengthy process and removed one of the biggest pain points of shipping. And I know Alicia just really called out a lot of those claims frustrations when it comes to the processing time of a single claim and how long it takes to receive reimbursement. So with the peace of mind that we pay 95% of claims in days, not weeks, you really have the ability to proactively resolve these shipping mishaps for your customers. And it enables you to provide that superior post-purchase experience that your customers have come to expect. Now I want to walk us through a couple of the top benefits that you gain access to with the UPS Capital policy. Of course, starting with that all risk insurance coverage for any losses or damages that your goods incur in transit, as well as those losses discovered after delivery. So concealed damage and porch piracy. Our customers have that 90 days to report concealed damages, and that extended claims filing window is 9 months. Our policies also offer coverage for porch piracy theft, which we all know has become an increasingly common threat to the online shopper's experience and to a business's bottom line. Almost a third of merchants reported financial losses of more than $50,000 due to porch piracy in the last year, and nearly 3 in 4 reported having to increase their budgets for porch piracy losses alone. And like Alicia mentioned, we also offer reimbursement up to the full invoice value of the goods plus shipping costs, plus up to 20% of the value of goods to cover those expediting expenses for reshipping to your customers. And then I also just want to emphasize the flexible and affordable options for multimodal multi-carrier coverage that allows you to protect your entire supply chain. And again, allows you to file all those claims through that InsureShield online claims portal. And I'll go ahead and pass it back to Sarah for a couple more poll questions.
Thank you for that, Amanda. So everybody here, those are some really big benefits. I do want to ask about that. So here you guys should have another question popping up. So what do you think would be the biggest benefit of shipping insurance? Let us know. Got a couple of good options here in terms of what we just covered. So let us know what you think. What do you think would be the biggest benefit of shipping insurance? Awesome. These poll numbers are coming in. We got a split divide between the first 4. I feel like I should be speaking on horse racing term. This is awesome. I love the polling questions here. 43% of you have already let us know. Full refund almost every time. Okay, big benefit there. Love that. Okay, keep it coming. All right. Next up, fast refunds, 4 to 7 days. Absolutely. Still in the top place is going to be that second option right there, full refund almost every time. I see some of you though have already let us know good customer support and improved customer experience. Not to mention minimal paperwork. It's always nice too. Definitely a benefit. But it's good to have a heads up on what you're working on. So I love that really a lot of you are pointing out to us that the biggest benefits are going to be that full refund almost every time. Love it, love it. So interestingly enough, porch piracy coverage and claims tracking and analytics. None of you guys are hitting on that. All right. We're going to keep that in our thoughts here. Appreciate the honesty though. I love it. So we'll go with that full refund almost every time majority right here for this poll question. So we appreciate you guys letting us know. All right, Amanda, I'm about to pass it right back to you.
Perfect. Now I want to dive a little bit deeper into the couple different connectivity options for our digital insurance solution known as InsureShield Connect and how it can be customized to fit into your existing shipping processes and workflows, starting with our InsureShield suite of APIs. This is our most robust and dynamic digital product, and it allows SMBs to integrate our insurance or claims API into their business software to automate that insurance election and claim submission process. So there's two different integration options here shown on the screen. There's what we call merchant elected insurance to the right, and that's where you can apply that rules-based coverage into the back end of your existing shipping software. And then we also have that consumer elected option to the left that offers that coverage as a product to your customers in the checkout cart. And that checkout cart option can be established as either opt-in or opt-out coverage. This digital pay-as-you-go solution is really ideal for those larger SMBs that have access to those IT resources that can program these APIs into their TMS, their ERP, their IMS, or really wherever orders or shipments are consolidated. And because there is a little bit of a significant technical lift associated with APIs, we do have easier options for any SMBs using Shopify for them to integrate through webhooks. This option doesn't require coding or software implementation. It provides automatic coverage for all shipments, but it is limited to those merchants selling through the Shopify platform.
Hey man, I just wanted to piggyback off of that real quick. So one big thing about our APIs, we've got a full in-house implementation team out of Atlanta, Georgia. So whenever we do work with a customer, work with their IT resources, there is one singular insurance API. It is a very light lift. These are RESTful web-based APIs, the most common of common APIs that you can integrate. And I just wanted to highlight that we do not provide documentation and developer guides and then back off and let you do it yourself. We're very involved and try to collaborate with our customers to help them determine what business rules would make sense, how the data flows throughout their different systems. And we really try to provide a hand-holding onboarding through testing all the way through the go live launch of the API connectivity. So again, anyone that is interested or has some technical resources available, we'd love to share some of our documentation and really walk through how simple it is to get these APIs connected so that we can automate the services that we know we can provide.
That's a great call out. Thank you, Nick. Another connectivity option that we have is also through InsureShield Smart Upload. So this is ideal for businesses with limited technical resources or customers that are ready to start today and are open to having a little bit more of a manual process in play for their logistics management. This solution requires a daily file upload through that online portal, and you provide a list of insured shipments on the day that the transaction is declared. Throughout the process of uploading that file, there is smart messaging within that platform that gives you real-time error validation to know that you've uploaded the right information and that those shipments are insured. And most files can upload in under a minute. So as soon as a customer binds a policy and registers their account through the online portal, they immediately gain access to be able to start insuring shipments through this smart upload tool. And last but not least, I do want to touch on our newest enhancement feature available to our InsureShield Connect customers. So any of the three ways that I just discussed about connecting InsureShield Analytics is a tool that is also located within the online portal, and it provides this visibility on real-time shipment milestones and tracking data for all of your recent shipping activity. And it's also providing that rich claims data as it's aggregating an overview of your loss types, your top commodities resulting in claims, so that you are in a position to make more proactive and informed business decisions based off of those trends that you're seeing. And I would be remiss if I didn't call out a couple of the exciting coming soon features that would be available in the future through this tool, starting with incorporating more proactive updates based on exception data and allowing visibility to help you avoid losses in the first place. So for example, if there's severe weather conditions that are going to impact your delivery location during your time of delivery, you would have visibility to those insights through this tool to make a decision on expedited shipping that could avoid those delays or damages altogether. Other features are alerts and risk scores for potentially fraudulent delivery locations, and also automated claim filing when tracking data notes that a loss or damage has occurred. And then I'll pass it back to Sarah for some more poll questions.
Awesome. I mean, I just want to make sure that I didn't want to cut off our other panelists here. So thank you for that. Let's go ahead and check out this next poll question here. We'd love for you guys to help us fill in the blanks since Amanda just went over a lot of those connectivity features. So let us know, fill in the blank for us. I'd rather have insurance selection take place, ... So let us know, what are your thoughts around that? I'd rather have insurance election take place. Where? Let us know. Awesome. So 60% of you already have let us know in your order to management software. Okay. So having that kind of insurance selection take place in your software. Love it. What else do we have here? Okay. A little tie between the first and third choice here. It's very fair. Majority of you are still sticking with that order and management software. So part of the label manifestation and shipping software, absolutely in your consumer checkout cart. Very cool. 15% to 18% on that one. So love that a majority of you are helping us to fill in that blank here to let us know that you'd love to see that insurance selection take place in your management software. Love it. You guys are techie enough. You know how to get this going in your software solutions. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Okay, let's go ahead and have another question here for you guys. So the second question, this is going to be sort of a word cloud. It's a little new to the Teams feature, so we're excited to see what happens here. So let us know, what shipping and order management technology do you have integrated in your business today? So let us know in that blank field response right there for submission, what shipping and order management technology do you have integrated in your business today? Awesome, we've got a couple of responses floating in. WorldShip, ShipX, ShipCaddy, NetSuite, ShipRush. Okay. Got another one in there. Love how this is the new Teams feature here. Incredible. It really is shifting into the word cloud. Awesome. We've got 13 of you have given us this response here. Okay. Magento. Magento? Apologies on missounding. Yes, Magento. Beautiful. Okay, we've got Connect Shipped in there. ShipStation. I see that. Starship. All right. Fax. I see that. I see how small that is in there too. I can definitely see that. But ShipStation again, there it is. WorldShip is the majority of you guys right now. Okay. Out of 22 of you. Would still love to know, just from the 80 others of you in here, let us know, what shipping and order management technology do you have integrated in your business today? Good. I see the dots floating in. More responses. Okay. Ship. It's a pretty big one now. ShipCaddy is growing a little bit. I see Shopify in there. Beautiful. Come on, guys. Don't be shy. Let us know. Let us know, what shipping and order management technology do you have integrated in your businesses today? You know, majority of folks on this call may be coming in from our business unit, so we can definitely tell where that bigger software management technology piece is coming from. But still, we love the variety here. Appreciate you guys letting us know. Awesome, awesome. Knowing that majority of you may be in UPS, but we appreciate it. Okay, so it looks like a lot of those answers might not be changing. We've got a lot of those common ones in there. So to my group, I will let you guys know. Looks like ShipCaddy, Ship, and WorldShip are going to be that majority float in right now. Awesome, awesome. Appreciate the responses, and please feel free, as we're still going through our webinar today, you can always reply to that poll question. If you just pop open the chat feature here, you'll be able to see that poll question in there, and then you can still access the information in that so that you can really break it down for yourself too. So awesome, awesome. Well, Amanda, looks like I'm about to pass it right back to you.
Thank you, Sarah. So now just to bring us back full circle and complete that Laura story that Alicia started, after she's upgraded her business with InsureShield shipping insurance, she no longer feels that stress when a shipping mishap occurs because she knows that no matter the carrier or mode, she can file her claim within minutes and receive payment within days, not weeks, really empowering her to immediately make things right for her customers and ultimately protect her brand reputation and her bottom line.
Amanda, thank you for that. So now we're about to get into the Q&A part of our webinar today. And what I'm going to do is actually ask our folks here who are sharing screen and let us know some of the answers to the questions that we do have that have already been submitted through just the feature of registration here. So the first question I do want to ask, I'm actually going to toss it to you, Alicia. Can you let us know what makes shipping insurance better than carrier liability?
That's a great question. So really, let's talk a little bit maybe about what the goal of shipping insurance is. And really that goal is to be able to provide you as a business that peace of mind in the shipping process, that you have the right solution in place to allow you to streamline that post-purchase shipping experience. Most people really think that carrier liability is insurance, but it's not. Carrier liability really started as a government mandate. It was put in place to define what carriers would be responsible for in the event of a loss. With most carriers, you're probably used to that first $100 of value is covered with that cost of shipping. Or if it's a larger order, maybe LTL or full truckload, there might be a dollar per pound calculation that they offer in terms of what they would cover up to. But really, it's the responsibility of that shipper to pay for coverage for any value that exceeds what that carrier standardly offers. So it can really come to a surprise for SMBs that is not shipping insurance, because sometimes it can be portrayed as shipping insurance. So many times the SMBs that we're working with are unaware that shipping insurance is an option. It's largely been inaccessible to them until recently. That digitization of insurance, the technology of the APIs that Amanda and Nick were talking about earlier, has really allowed us to be able to embed insurance election into that label manifestation process. So making it a lot easier for businesses to operationalize how they get coverage, making sure that they have access to a superior coverage. Again, really just to kind of go back to, helping prepare all of you to be able to streamline that post-purchase shipping experience should something happen.
Alicia, that was an excellent answer. I really do appreciate that. Jam-packed, full of the information there. Thank you. So then another question here to our panelists. Nick, I'm going to toss this one over to you. I'd like to know, how do you justify the cost of shipping insurance against the cost of shipping?
Yeah, no, it's a good question, and something that we, have conversations around a lot with our customers. And the way I look at it is, in order to make a sale, right? If you have an end consumer that purchased an item from you, in order for them to leverage and actually use that item, you have to ship it to them, right? So the transportation piece is typically budgeted each and every year for the volume that our customers anticipate moving for the next 12 months. I look at the insurance as being very closely tied to that budget for transportation. Because at the end of the day, if you're shipping items to your end consumers or to businesses that you're servicing and bad things happen, the additional cost from a cost of goods sold standpoint, from the reshipping out another item, a lot of those accessorial charges will add up, and they are going to bypass the incremental amount that it would actually charge to ensure that inventory to move to your end consumer. So we have a lot of options within our suite of InsureShield solutions. that act as a pay-as-you-go, or they're very transactional in nature. So that's why we really leverage our sales resources to understand and work very closely with our customers to try to depict what business rules or what logic does it make sense for us to apply insurance to, right? And even furthermore today, when we think of all the statistics that Alicia and Amanda ran through, the consumer mindset has shifted, right? They expect things to be different in today's world as we sit in 2022 than 5 years, a decade ago, when it came to losses and damages within the supply chain. So we want to try to equip our customers to budget correctly for the insurance that needs to be placed on their inventory, and then find different ways to allocate costs differently. Could we pass some of those charges off to the end consumer? Can we give them the decision-making power to elect additional coverage at the time of a checkout within the shopping, website? So again, we try to customize it based on the customer. But just as I look at transportation charges, that goes hand in hand with the opportunity to ensure and protect that inventory as it moves throughout your supply chain.
Nick, that was an awesome answer. Thank you for that, especially from the consumer mindset. So I do want to ask you, Alicia, next here, since we were talking about those transportation charges, which types of shipments are typically insured? And if you can tell me that, can you also tell me how do other SMBs choose which shipments to insure?
That's a great question, Sarah. So really, I want to maybe start with what our data shows us about how SMBs prefer to elect coverage for different types of reasons. So one reason may be based off of the products that they're shipping. So we've seen about 32% of SMBs prefer to select based on products. That could be maybe it's a product that's a little bit more fragile, or maybe has some perishability, or again, they've just seen nuances with certain products where, those are higher margin or lower margin items, and they want to elect based on that product. Sometimes it's by carrier, so 26% select by carrier. When you've shipped with a lot of different carriers, sometimes it's not a smooth experience across the board, and that can be lane specific. So just depending on where you're shipping. And speaking of lanes, destination is another selection option. So 21% may select by destination. Maybe you've got international shipments, it's a country you've never shipped to, or maybe it's an area where maybe there's a little bit more risk. Just things like you've experienced maybe porch piracy with customers in the past, or damages with customers in a certain area. Sometimes it's whether or not you've worked with a customer. So 11%, it's new or important customers are the ones that they want to make sure that those items are protected. Selfishly, I'm getting married, so I like to think that when I order a wedding-related item, maybe I'm an important customer that they would insure wedding-related items for me. And then the last one would be order value. So about 10%, it's based on order value. I would say when it comes to customers that are using our more digital applications, on average, a lot of the businesses that we work with, it's between $150 to $225 in value is where they start to make that election for our value-based items. But 48% of the insured shipments that we see come through are under $100. So we've seen customers where it's maybe a $50 item, and that might be their average value of when they start insuring those orders. For the digital applications too, we have customers that have a really high utilization rate. So they may elect to insure all of their orders. They may elect to insure based on certain rule-based coverages that I think we talked about earlier as well. Typically, when it's a merchant-driven decision, about 48% of shipments are insured. When you elect for a consumer-elected model, we have some offerings that I think Amanda had shared too, where we offer through that checkout cart. We see about a 50% utilization where 50% of the shipments are insured. But ultimately, I kind of leave it on making that decision of how risk adverse are you, or how risk adverse are you willing to be. So if you're a little bit of a newer business, you may not necessarily want to take on that risk of not being able to reship out an order or have that protection in place should a shipment damage or loss or porch piracy theft occur for one of your orders for your customers.
Wow. I love those statistics there. Thank you so much for that, Alicia. That's a lot of really good information. I appreciate it. That had me thinking though, Amanda, I'm curious if I could ask you this question. How can something like shipping insurance help me grow my business?
That's a great question. And I think I can sum it up into 2 words, and that's customer experience. From my perspective, I think that shipping plays a really big role in driving that customer loyalty. And what our research has shown us is that customers see the shipping experience as an extension of the SMB service. And SMB's reputations are impacted directly by this experience. 72% of SMBs told us that shipping incidents like damage, loss, and porch piracy had a negative impact on the reviews that they received last year. And we all know how important reviews can be to SMBs in e-commerce when they're trying to retain customers or acquire new customers to grow their business. So the shipping experience is impacting both those purchasing decisions on the front end and those repurchasing decisions on the back end. And if SMBs have shipping insurance, they can turn those bad situations into a good customer experience and solidify those repeat customers and grow their business with those positive reviews.
That's huge, especially with the solidifying of the positive reviews. Appreciate that, Amanda. That's excellent. I do have more questions here, but for everybody who's on the call still, I will make sure that I send out my questions and also get with my panelists to ask those questions and make sure that they get floated over to you. So we appreciate the questions in the chat. I do have these questions here, but I do want to spend our last 5 minutes moving on to our raffle. So a lot of you who have joined our call will be able to see some of the items that we're going to go through here. And so what Ashley's going to do for us is she's going to go ahead and pull the raffle. We've got an electronic way to do this. So we're going to test this out and see how it goes. So the first raffle that, oh, please don't let me cut you off, Ashley.
No, I was just going to say I am spinning the wheel now.
Okay, so for that first spin, the first raffle that we have here, this is going to be a GoShow LED Wi-Fi projector from Nordstrom. So let's see who gets it. You guys can already kind of peep the other raffle pieces there. So let's build up this momentum and see. Whoa, right, Virginia? I'm telling you, this is a pretty cool projector. Portable, come on. Movies are coming up. Fall is in the air. I'm telling you, just put this on the side of the house, get you a blanket, popcorn. It's going to be awesome. So for our raffle winner here, everybody on our call today, I'd like to thank Amir Sino for winning this one. Amir, this one's going to be for you. So congratulations. Thank you for spinning the raffle and for participating in this. The projector is going to be awesome for you. All right, so our next raffle piece here, let's get to it. Awesome, awesome. It's going to be that Patagonia men or women's nano puff jacket. Y'all, I am a huge fan of puffy coats. It's winter, no matter where we are domestically, even if it's Georgia, it happens randomly. Let's see who our raffle winner is on this one. Lucky winner for the Patagonia men or women's nano puff jacket. It's going to be Becky Friedrich. So Becky, great job. Thank you for participating. Be on the lookout for that awesome Patagonia puff. Sweet, sweet, sweet. So let's get to our final raffle piece here. This one's going to be the Nespresso Verchurro. This thing is chocked full, y'all. It's such a sweet and creamy Nespresso, I'm telling you. So, runner up here, raffle winner, Francisco Portuchong. That's going to be you. Yee! Congratulations to all 3 of our winners, Amir, Becky, Francisco. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Be on the lookout for an email from us. We'll be sure to make sure we get all the contact information that we need to go ahead and send you those products. But we enjoy everybody today for participating. We're going to wrap it up now with all of you. Go ahead and let us know if you liked the demo today, if you want to learn more. Please feel free to scan the QR code that you see here, and we'll be sure that anyone that you see whose camera's on here on the call today, one of them will be able to reach out to you, communicate with you, get you the information that you're looking for. So thank you again for everybody who joined us. Remember, this is a recorded session, so we will be sure to send it out to you guys. And on top of that, we'll be sure to answer those questions in that virtual parking lot and other questions that we had today that came through the chats. So thank you, thank you. Again, you guys rock, my panelists. Thank you for all the incredible information. Really appreciate it. Ashley, thank you for guiding this with me. Great job, everybody.